And now let's talk about someone who is deeply popular here in South Carolina, who endorsed Marco Rubio. That's Senator Tim Scott, who joins me now. And Senator, let's just start with the big question here. You've endorsed Marco Rubio. You know, you heard Dana's piece. You know there's no love lost between Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. It has gotten nasty. Why did you choose Rubio?
Well, I had the good fortune of hosting 12 presidential forums, having each candidate in one at a time. One person was head and shoulders above the rest. That was Marco Rubio. He has more experience on foreign policy than any other candidate. He has lived the American dream. He understands how to re-engineer our economy so that it helps the middle class. And finally, he uses conservative principles to attract a new generation of voters. He doesn't concede our conservative principles. He uses those conservative principles to attract a new generation of voters. Without question, it was an easy decision to go with Marco Rubio.
So an easy decision, but of course you've also worked alongside Ted Cruz, and Cruz and Rubio both came into the Senate as Tea Partiers, just like you did. Why not Ted Cruz?
Well, for me, it's more about why Marco Rubio than why not another candidate. What I like to focus on the decision-making process. I had literally those 12 presidential forums, and then I took pen and put it on paper. I went through the analysis of each candidate. I analyzed each candidate's strengths, their weaknesses, and how that would fare for the country first and then for the party. And every time I had a very important question, especially like the foreign policy question, leading our military as commander-in-chief. I have a brother who just retired in October from 32 years as a command sergeant major in the Army. Another brother who serves as a colonel in the Air Force. I wanted to know who on day one would be commander-in-chief, ready to take charge. That was an easy decision. With his experience on the Intel Committee and on foreign affairs, Marco Rubio has more experience than anyone else running. Understanding the need to re-engineer our economy, looking for ways to make college more affordable, Marco Rubio understands that journey personally.
So, Senator, what I'm trying to understand, though, is, of course, you've got Marco Rubio just calling Ted Cruz a liar. You didn't see the flyer, but no doubt you've seen them around your state. That Dana Bash was just holding up. The word liar was on there more times than I could count in the 20 seconds I was looking at it. Donald Trump, of course, has also called Ted Cruz a liar. And here's how Ted Cruz responded today.
Marco Rubio is behaving like Donald Trump with a smile.
So is Ted Cruz right that Rubio is just copying Trump, or is Rubio right that Ted Cruz is dishonest?
There is an easy way of understanding what Marco Rubio is doing right now. I have not seen the flyer, so I won't speak to a flyer that I have not seen. It is important for candidates to contrast their records against other candidates. When it's about the record, I don't think of it as a negative attack. When it gets personal and name-calling, that's a problem. But creating a contrast and defending your own record is what candidates do. This is for the highest job in politics in the world. We want to make sure that we understand each candidate, their strengths, their weaknesses, and where the contrast is. And when there's false information placed out there, you have to rebuke that false information or debunk it. We're seeing that happen by Marco Rubio and his campaign.
And Senator Scott, before we go, the bottom line is, would you support Donald Trump if he's the nominee, wholeheartedly and vocally?
There's no doubt that any of our candidates on the right would do a better job as President of the United States than Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
All right. At least I'll take that. The bottom line is yes, although I understand the way you phrased it was slightly different than that. Senator Scott, I appreciate your time. It's good to talk to you tonight, sir.
I expect Marco Rubio to win.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. Yes.
You take care.
Well, thank you very much. I want to